Here we go, and if you are in the chat, predictions are open, so you can place your bets on who you believe is going to be advancing onto the grand finals. Will it be one Terran or the other? It is going to be up to you to decide. So best of luck as you get your gamba going. Predictions open. As in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Terran player representing Team Liquid, the best Terran in all of Europe, one of the best Terrans in the world. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Na'Vi. He just brought down Hero Marine, has been popping off in the TvT matchup. Can he pop off even further? Can he cause an upset and bring down the best Terran in Europe? It is Spirit. Here we go. Here we go as we're settling into this, and we do have some mirrored builds. It's going to be a double gas opener out of Clem, double gas out of Spirit, mirrored builds. We're going for faster factories, we're going for delayed CCs. We are opening up a little bit more aggressively, and how will that aggression kind of bounce off each other? Who will come out on top? Who will gain an edge? As for the time being, we're mirroring each other. Oh, until now though, bold move out of Clem. Clem going for a reactor first. Very bold move. He has 0 units, by the way. 0 units for quite some time. Getting into the reactor. This should be for Reactor Reaper. I imagine Reactor Reaper with Hellions to support. Meanwhile, Spirit back at home going for a Reaper first instead into his own factory. A much more standard opener here out of Spirit. Clem spicing it up. Clem is going to be spicing it up here as the reactor is finishing up. Getting into those Reapers. And Reapers are on the way. If he makes it to the finals, we will cast him. See someone in the chat asking for Raynor. I mean, again, we're just following spirits throughout this tournament. I mean, I say following spirit. We've been hopping from player to player, following a portion of the brackets. And we will continue to do so. And I'm hoping we can cast some Raynor later on, but if we do, it's going to be in the finals. So, do wish him the best of luck. Likewise, I wish Max Pax the best of luck as well in their lower semifinals match. Meanwhile, there it is. It is going to be Reactor Reaper Hellion, as we did mention. We are building up quite a terrifying force. Meanwhile, Spirit is going for Reaper Cyclone. So, Clem is going to be the aggressor. With this army composition, Clem, he's going to be looking to dive onto the army, and specifically on top of that Cyclone. If he can focus down that Cyclone, then Clem can snowball out of control. Likewise, he's looking for SCV kills as well, if at all possible. And we are pushing 4 Reapers, 2 Hellions. We're moving out across the map before going for the add-on swap, and this will be for Cyclone production. There we go. Cyclone's now on the way for Clem. Back across the map. Spirit, he does have his 1 Cyclone. Does have his position here on the low ground. And can Clem break through? Not gonna be easy. Dodges up the Cyclone. Takes a couple of hits. Ooh, and is being targeted down. We do get the repair just in time. Spirit, he will keep it alive a little bit longer. And he will force this back. Again, a clutch repair there from Spirit. He maintains his Cyclone. He maintains his position. And just like that, Spirit is in a slightly better position. Why do I say that? The Cyclones. He did get into Cyclone production a little bit faster. He does have 2 of them. Actually, behind this, we're getting into a tech lab. Okay. So Spirit, he's a bit of an Oliveira fan. I mean, we saw he was a bit of a Bjorn fan as well. Fast tanks here. We have the tech lab on that factory. Tank production has commenced. Spirit, he's giving up map control. He's giving up map control. Spirit, he's playing defensively instead by going for faster tanks. Meanwhile, Clem has the map control and he's going for drop play. So Clem is going to be the aggressor. Spirit is the defender. That's our roles that we've taken so far. Easier said than done. As Clem is going to be rotating towards that main base. Cyclones, they do keep up. And they try to. Reaper goes down. Clem threatening a drop, trying to get a read on the situation. I believe he did spot that CC, so he's aware of the third base. Likewise, Clem working on his own third base back at home. Tank is sieged. Well, we do take that tank shots. Yeah, we're pushing in. Boys are being pulled for the repair. Once again, Spirit very quick to repair his units. Does hold, does survive. Does hold, does survive the push. Forces Clem back. Clem bleeding out a Cyclone there. Not the best trade from Clem. Will be forced back. Meanwhile, third base is on the way, and Spirit, he's just fortifying himself. And referring to the mid game specifically, Spirit has quite a nice lead, just because of the tank counts. Over time, Cyclones, they're gonna fall off. Cyclones don't scale amazingly into the mid game and into the late game, so even though we're amassing Cyclones, Clem has to do something with this. He has to trade with these Cyclones in some way, and he has potential. He has Ravens. Now with these Ravens, the goal here is to break this position. If Spirit overextends, if he spreads himself too thin, we can come in, we can disable the tanks, and we can collapse on this army with the mass Cyclone, and we can clean this up. So Clem can still gain value here with this army. Going for a drop for the time being. Going for a drop, Spirit establishing his third. Spreading out his tanks. Third base is being taken, and this is what we spoke about. Because the third is being taken, Spirit, he's spreading himself in between 3 bases. Does create an opening for this drop. As we're headed for the main, but Spirit, he leaves 2 Cyclones in position. He's ready for it. And the drop, it does try to skirt by. It's boosting in. Attempts to, at the same time, Ravenhearts across the map. We get a couple of SCVs. The drop was delayed. And we can, of course, out-control Spirit here. Takes down both Cyclones. Very nice control. Very hot pick up there from Clem. Takes down the Cyclone. Will be cleaned up. Gets 3 SCVs. Did lose 6 across the map. Ooh, that is a lot of lost mining time as we're pushing in. The Ravens, they took down some of the tanks. Ooh, did I say some? 3 tanks. 3 tanks just went down to the Ravens. No shots. Again, that's why Clem wasn't paying attention across the map. He resets the tank count, and just like that, the advantage that Spirit had isn't there anymore. That is huge. For 3 tanks to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that did just happen off screen, so I do apologize, but Spirit, he lost all of his tanks. And with that, Clem, he's able to keep up. We're on an even tank counts. We retain our Ravens. Clem going for his own drop play as well, or going for his own push. Keeping the pressure up, and Spirit, he's been struggling to defend. His goal here has been to be turtle up, but he has struggled. Drop is moving out. Clem just being active on the map. Getting his third base up and running. No 4th CC yet from either player. We're still just settling down on 3 bases. Double drop on the right-hand side. Clem being active in the center. Ravens have been spotted. Yeah, big scouts. I mean, does spot the Ravens, is going to rotate over, but that is going to create an opening for the drop of Spirit. Yeah, just getting some water.
Game paused.
Oh my god. I was just getting some water, but it looks like we have a little bit of latency. Not on our side, thankfully. I was like, did my water disrupt the internet? Ah. We should be good. But yeah, we're more than happy to just wait, to chill, and hopefully any kind of latency can settle down. Ooh, as again, just double checking, and it's thankfully not on our end. And, you know, maybe Spirit, he's downloading some Steam updates in the background. Maybe someone logged into the Wi-Fi. You know, hopefully we can sort things out. And also, thankfully, this latency is occurring when there's downtime. There's no big fight going on. There's no drop play happening. The latency isn't really affecting the game in any meaningful way. So we can just wait it out before diving back in. But we can dive back in. Again, right now, Spirit, he's just... Oh, ooh. Yeah, Spirit, he's basically saying that his internet is fine, but BattleNet is really laggy for him. So he's basically lagging out of BattleNet, but his internet is stable. So hopefully it can settle down. Catching up in the chat. Rainer just lost the first game against MaxPax with 730 APM. APM isn't everything after all. I mean, it isn't. But interesting. Interesting. Thanks for the updates. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Again, MaxPax and Clem, they're usually the dominant players in this tournament format or in this tournament series. It's usually Clem and MaxPax in the finals. Can that be stopped? Can we stop the Clem MaxPax finals? I mean, best of luck to Rainer and Spirit. Best of luck, because it looks like the latency has cleared up. Ooh, and we're getting back into the game. Ooh, there we go. Okay, we do have that drop play, or the double drop towards the north. Clem still being active in the center. Is spotted by Spirit. Spirit rotating his army over. Trying to make sure he's in position. Trying to keep up. Likewise, both players scanning each other. That drop's still active here for Spirit, but there is a spotter turret. Turret is there. Will deter drop play. Fourth base is on the way for both Spirit and Clem. About to finish up. And we can soon get into our 4-base setup. Oh, as the army is here to engage. Even upgrades here. As they bounce off each other. Do bounce off each other. Spirit, he might be able to come across the 4th CC, by the way. He is looking a little bit exposed here, at least the workers are. Clem moving out. Sensor Tower does reveal the drop. Yeah, he spots it. Clem does respond. Moving out with his army. Spirit also taking the center 4th. Okay, so we have the center 4th from Spirit. We have the linear 4th base from Clem. Have the linear 4th base. As the game is just going to be settling into this. Both players are posturing. Like, this is the game in TvT. We're just trying to outposition the opponent. Maneuvering on out. We have an even Raven count. Spirit is up 1 tank. Oh. Who is it? Who is it? No! No! Spirits! Come back! We spoke about it. Ooh. As we do lag out in the end, and do not worry, we will remake. We will remake. Again, Spirit, he was alluding to the fact that he was having some latency issues, and he does lag out of the game. Once again, though, thankfully, nothing major was happening. Thankfully, there was no big fight going on, and we can resume from replay. Oh, but here we go. We are diving back in. Whew. Again, we're back at the moment that we did leave off. Again, Spirit, he has returned to us. We're back, and we're just settling back into the game. Hopefully, the rhythm of the players wasn't disrupted too much. Hopefully, it wasn't disrupted too much there. As you can see, Clem posturing in the center. Likewise, Spirit trying to keep up with his own movement as well. +3 attack starting up here for Spirit, so it's +3 defense. We're pushing in! Ravens, they lead the charge. A good counter disable on those Ravens. And we do come in from behind. We get a full surround here. Tank's going to be going down. Clemmy gets caught out. A nice anti-armor missile, but we do collapse here on the tanks. And the tanks will fall. A very good fight there by Spirits. Shutting down 4 tanks, keeping his own alive. Did he get the Ravens? Didn't quite get the Ravens. Lost some of his own. But with that, Clem is forced back. And Clemmy loses his tank lead. Spirit now 7 tanks to 3. Spirit, he has momentum. He can keep pushing. And he is. He can keep pushing. Oh, the Raven taking a lot of hits. We don't want to throw it away. Tanks are sieging those Vikings. Ooh, putting the hurt on the air army here of Spirit. And Clem is remaxed. He has remaxed with mainly a Marine army, not with as many tanks. But he is at 200. Tanks are looking a bit exposed. We're going in. Yes, Spirit, he leaves the tank exposed. The tank's going to be going down. We get 1, we get 2. We dive on the army. A brutal position there for Spirits. Pushing up into 4 tanks. It's not going to happen. And Spirit, he plummets in supply. That was not a fight to take. With that, at the same time, we do have some Liberator harass across the map. 13 SCVs go down. Clem popping up, taking a good fight here on the front lines and harassing at the same time. Now, Spirit, he does maintain most of his tanks, but he lost so many Marines. You see Spirit trying to remax, trying to deal with this one pesky Liberator as well. Is rotating around.
All hands to battle stations.
Does go for his own harass, gets 4 SCVs. Gets 4 workers, but I believe, yeah, that was the final Raven of Spirit. Does fall, and this is still anyone's game. 3-3 is going to finish up first, slightly for Spirit. And we're pushing in. +3 attack, finishing up just in time, but a big anti-armor missile. Spirit bleeding out too much. Oh my god, it's a meat grinder. He just cannot push in. The tank count is just too strong. The siege line is just too much to push into. Yeah, Spirit bleeding out a lot of tanks. Does bleed out quite a lot. Behind this, 5th base being taken. Sorry, 6th base even. Liberator finally falls. That planetary is getting up and running. Clem rotating over. He is scanned. Spirit does see. As he is pulling back for a moment, just gathering his thoughts, gathering his army. Let's go. There we go, Spirit. He is going to be the first to siege, but the disables! Again, the Ravens, they were kept alive for so long. Big disables on these tanks. 3-4 of them go down, but we can finally catch one of the Ravens. Only one, though. As Clem is going to keep on pushing, working his way towards the planetary. Not many Marines to support, but he's rallying Marines across the map. He's reinforcing. 3-3 is done for both players. Meanwhile, Spirit going for a Doom Drop across the map. A bold move out of Spirit. He's slipping in. He tries to. Has to unload here at the planetary. Not ideal. Will deny some mining time and does force Clem to pull back. Does force a big reaction. Gets a Sensor Tower. Gets a medevac, but bleeds out so many Marines. The medevacs fall. But once again, a brutal trade there from Spirit. Same time, tanks going to be sieging. The counter disables. Oof. Again, very efficient trades here by Clem. Picking up a couple of tanks at a time. Spirit, he does what the army. He's trying to keep up. Yeah, both players are. You can see that Clem has gone into Vikings. Spirit, he's avoided them entirely. There's still that one Raven in the main army of Clem. Spirit going for a counterattack instead. He ignores the main army. He doesn't care. Just doesn't care here. He's going across the map. Ooh, bleeding out quite a lot though. A massive anti-armor missile. But Spirit, he's still breaking through. He has the DPS. He has the numbers on his side. He's hitting on top of the tanks. And he will be able to break through. Just barely gets 2 tanks, but bleeds out his Marines. Oh, that was an expensive loss for Spirit. And you can see, once again, Spirit plummets in the supply. At the same time, 21 SCVs went down. Ay, ay, ay. Also, brutal trade. And Spirit, he just lost too much. He lost far too much here. Clem pushing out, breaking free. We saw a couple of questionable fights from Spirit throughout this game. Again, Spirit, he ignored the anti-armor missile. Planetary is going to go down. And Clem, he's in control. He's in control of this game. He's snowballing out of control even. Going for another planetary. And Spirit's going for a base trade. It's all he can do. He knows he cannot fight head on. Not anymore. But we have reinforcements back at home. Looks like we're going to trade 2 for 1. Spirit loses 2 bases, but he will kill 1 of his opponents. Gets a planetary. Clem turning back around. He's setting up for... Do we surround the army or do we go for another base? That is the question. Where are we headed? Both players getting back into Ravens. Spirit looking for another way in. Spirit avoiding the army. Force a siege. Here come the disables though. Yeah, Spirit, he gets caught out. The tanks are disabled. GG, and Clem will take game number 1. Ooh. GG. Again, a solid game there out of Clem. Very clean play overall. Was able to trade so well, so efficiently. Time and time again, he would either out-trade Spirit in the tank wars or in the marine battles. And Spirit just had a little pressure on him, and it's also a little bit brutal because there was some latency earlier on, which is why we had to resume from replay. So Spirit, I'm sure, was kind of knocked off balance as well. It is one of those things that can kind of take you out of the game and out of the zone. And with that, Clem does take a lead and is 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals, where we have yet to determine his opponent. I believe MaxPax and Raynor, they're in the ace match. They're still in a tied-up series, and it could still be either one of those players in the finals. Meanwhile, Clem needs 1 more. 1 more game. And Clem will make it to those finals. Can Spirit stop him? Can they slow him down? Here we go. Game 2 on side Delta. Is going to be on side Delta. Potentially the final game of the series. Personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping the Spirit can bounce back and make a series out of this. But the pressure is on, and here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have our blue Terran player from the land of France representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Na'Vi. Down in this series, justify back here and now to force that ace match. It is Spirit. Here we go as we are popping off here. Spirit going for a proxy 2-rax. Let's go. Okay, so proxy 2-rax Reaper at a Spirit. His goal, his chance here, his dream is for Clem to go for a Rax expand. And that is what's happening, by the way. It is going to be an economic opener out of Clem going for a Rax into a CC on the low ground. This is the ideal for Spirit. Oh boy. Here we go. The stars are aligning. Clem is going to be checking with the... Oh, he's moving out with his SCV, but he will not come across this. He should not come across the proxy. He's going for an SCV scout, though. Now, it is very common for Terran players to skip their worker scouts, so this is a very interesting move out of Clem, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off the fact that he's going to confirm that the Rax is missing, Reapers are on the way, and Clem, he should be able to take a more defensive approach. Once he realizes what's happening, he might pre-pull the boys. He might pre-pull the SCVs because you need those boys to defend. SCV confirms the missing Rax. Confirms the second gas. Yeah, cancels the CC. Clem, he knows. Cancels the base. Oh, I'm actually overreacting a little bit here. Okay, bunker on the high ground. Doesn't quite know what's going on. I mean, it could be Proxy Marauder. True. Could be Proxy Marauder. But this bunker is going to delay the factory, which is scary. I mean, Spirit, he can still pop off. But the bunker's finishing. Bunker is finishing. And what I love is the bunker is right next to the factory, which means we can keep it safe. We can preserve it. Oh, Spirit, he does go in. He does overextend. Barely gets away. Doesn't lose a Reaper. But you can see here, command center on the high ground. Very safe response here by Clem. Factory is going to finish. It's not going to be caught out. Again, that SCV scout paid off so much for him. SCV still alive across the map. Confirms the factory. Confirms that Spirit is working on the next step. Does confirm as Spirit, he tries to go up the ramp, but again, we have pre-pulled the boys. SCVs are here. And Clem is secure. And again, if Clem didn't go for the SCV scout, he would have had a CC on the low ground. He wouldn't have had SCVs pre-pulled, wouldn't have had a bunker, and Spirit could pop off. But that is just not happening. With that, Clem, he has a worker lead. He's faster with the CC. Spirits is on location, but Clem's is almost done. And we have a Cyclone. We have a Cyclone. We are secure. Well, the Rax does bait out the lock-on, so we have to be careful. Oof. Does bait it out. Reapers, they try to dip in. The goal here is that Cyclone. They want the Cyclone. They're not going to get it. Very good control here by Clem. Disabling that auto lock-on or just preserving it. I mean, it has a 0-second lock-on anyway. The cooldown, I should say. We take down a Reaper. Reaper falls. Clem, he will defend. And Clem is ready to counterattack with the Cyclone drop. Medevac is on the way. SCV gets chased down. Gets drilled to death. But we're getting to our add-on swaps. Cyclones are amassing for both players. Reactor Cyclone production from Spirit. Reactor Cyclone production from Clem. As Clem is going to be moving out with that draw play. So is Spirit, to be fair. They're both mirroring each other. Clem does have the orbital already done. Spirit just now finishing up his orbital as well. So the armies, the game state here is still slightly in favor of Clem, but only slightly. There's potential for Spirit to deal damage. Likewise, potential for Clem to do the same. Drops are moving in. Clem has an army at the natural. Spirit does not, by the way. A little bit out of position. Rotates over with his own Cyclones. Boys are being pulled. Hot pick up there by Clem. Gets 4 SCVs. Across the map, Spirit, he's going to get 1. Yeah, trading 1-for-1 Cyclone there. Not the best trade from Spirit. Gets into the main. Gets extra SCVs. Okay. Spirit popping up. Getting 4 workers in total. Again, for his Reapers, very nice trade. At the same time, Cyclone comes back into the natural. We force denied mining time. Spirit even getting that Reaper. So good trade overall. Clem bleeding out 6 SCVs. And his medevac as well. Oh my god. I didn't even realize the medevac went down. Spirit. He's doing well for himself. But I spoke too soon because Spirit also loses the medevac. Big pick off there. Cheeky move out of Clem. Does hunt it down. Does find it. And with that, Clem has map control. He has map control. He's moving out. Stim is on the way behind this. Double E-base. Third CC is done. Third CC is still on the way for Spirit. So Clem Eagle's being greedy. And he's getting away with that greed. Taking that third. Taking that third. Oh god. Clem, calm down. As Clem gets a shot off on that Cyclone. Just making sure he knows who's in charge. Tempting to go for some auto-charge harass, but doesn't go for it. Does get eyes on the third. Meanwhile, Clem's is already on location. So Clem, feeling pretty good about himself. He knows that he's ahead in the economy. No rush here. No need to overextend. Clem does retreat. And we're cutting Cyclone production. We have 5 for Clem. We have 9 for Spirits. That's quite a lot of Cyclones. As we're now getting into tank production. Tank production has commenced. Of course, Clem, he's ahead in tanks. Has 1 here on the low ground. So Clem, he has a tank lead. He's down in Cyclones, that is true, but we spoke about this before. Cyclones, they don't really scale amazingly into the mid-game. They do fall off. You don't want to be stuck with too many as we get some auto tower harass here. In the main, we get 4, 5, 6 SCVs. But denies so much mining in the main. Just now going back. Quite a bit of damage dealt. Clem is turning back around. Meanwhile, Spirit, he has potential. That's a lot of Cyclones. That's a lot of energy here for Interference Matrix. Or auto turrets. Goes for the scan. Yeah, tanks are going to be disabled. We get one. Yeah, we get the second as well. Marine's going to be collapsing. Boys are not being pulled. We don't need them. Oh my god. We don't need the boys. Nowhere we're going. We have man with gun. We shut down a Raven. We shut down the Cyclones. Clem, he just dominates that attack. Only one Raven lives, as Clem even chased one of them down with his own Raven. Ooh, and now Clem has momentum. He's pushing out across the map, unsieges the tanks. Clem still maintains that tank lead. And he has Ravens to work with. He has energy to spare. Spirit's in a bit of trouble here. He is in some trouble. Clem is checking for a fourth. Ooh, will bleed out a tank. Very nice pickup. Remember, Clem was up 2 tanks. Now he's only up 1. Ooh, that is going to supply block Spirits. Oh, a brutal supply block, actually. There we go. Deeper is now on the way. Very late Deepers. Yeah, we have 1. We have 2 Deepers to make up for this. Spirit stuck at 116. Not something you see often from Spirit, but yeah, the supply block is brutal. And now Clem, he's taking advantage of him. Soaring in supply. Getting his 4th base on location. 2-2 is on the way. Oh, I just realized the armory is late. This armory, it's so delayed. 2-2. Nowhere near starting here for Spirit. We still have to wait a little bit longer. So there's going to be a big window, actually. This is a big window where Clem has 2-2 and Spirit is going to be stuck on 1-1. And that window may also be there for 3-3 if the game goes on long enough. Fourth base just starting here for Spirit. It's already done for Clem. And Clem is maxed. Like this game has been brutal and nothing has gone Spirit's way so far. We have spotter Marines sprinkled all over the map. But Clem is pushing towards the north. And again, he is maxed out. He's up almost 50 supply. It is insane how much of a lead Clem has. Yeah, shuts down the Raven. Gets a medevac as well. We do throw down a couple of Dorita cannons on both armies. Tanks are sieging. Spirit, he cannot engage. So we are pushing on forward. Auto towers thrown down. Marines, they get on top of the tanks. We collapse on the army and Spirit just has nothing left. Boys are being pulled into their deaths. GG gets called and Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Game 1 was back and forth, is what I will say. Game 1 was a little more back and forth. Here in Game 2, though, Clem, again, from the beginning, very good move going for the SCV scout. He confirmed what was going on. He was able to get eyes on Spirit. From there, he was able to confirm the proxy, shut it down so hard, and just get further and further ahead from there. Whether it came to his natural base timing, his third base timing, the engagement with the Cyclones. Just really clean play there out of Clem. GG. And with that, Clem is our first player to make it to the grand finals. And we have yet to determine his opponent. From my understanding, Rainer versus Max Pax, the lower semifinals, is still ongoing, and they are currently in the ace match. They're in Game 3, and when that wraps up, we'll have our finalists. We'll have our next opponent. Oh boy. Still yet to be determined. But so far, Clem, he's, again, looking terrifying. Did drop a map to Wayne earlier, which might be a little bit telling.